All right, guys, welcome to the game in the top left-hand corner of the map. The gentleman who I think just needs to play smart, play slow, and take his time. And he may make his way into the Premier League next season. It is Ryung from Team Axiom. His opponents in the top right-hand corner, Kevin, who we got?
And is our blue Terran player, TheStC. And I made a bold prediction before that I said whoever came out of the loser of the Ryung match would still advance past whoever won in the STC killer match. And no disrespect intended to any of our players up to this point, but I still hold that to be true. Ryung has been playing really well today. Huck was just kind of a cut above everyone else in the division. And he opens now, of course, with gas first, and that's going to offer him flexibility. Cloaked Banshees, of course, likely going to be the order of the day. And we'll see what he moves into after that.
You really going to call Huck a piece of meat like that?
Am I?
A cut above everybody else?
A cut above? Yes, yes. He is the filet mignon of the group, so.
I actually remember read in a magazine a little while ago, like, all the different cuts of meat that there are. Like, there's choice, select.
Yeah.
Prime, I think, I don't know that
I have no clue, so I wish I could
There's
help
like
you.
four different cuts of meat, and like, they sound like really nice, some of them. That, you know, they're like select, but select is actually just really, hold that thought. Well, we'll just let that thought go. Because we do have 2 barracks here from the STC.
That's right. We saw Select do this 3 times the other day on Newkirk Precinct. Of course, double Reaper play is very strong at the beginning of TVTs, especially when you have a gas first into a factory because you really delay your units. First Marine is going to hit right now, and Ryung is going to have to play with those very defensively because if he gets hit with 3 Reapers at a time, they'll quickly chew through 1 or 2 Marines and then move on to the SCVs.
I actually may like the gas first opening out of Ryung even more because the Hellion is going to be out so quickly.
That is true.
You know, Reapers were incredibly good in Wings of Liberty versus Hellions, so they actually would defeat a Hellion in a one-on-one battle, but the new Reapers with how light the damage is, like, yes, they're extremely fast, extremely mobile, they, you know, shoot really fast, they don't have the additional building damage, but they're great at scouting and great at finding workers. The Hellions, though, are a lot better against them now.
That's very true, but still, 3...
He's not making one.
3 Reapers together can do quite a bit of damage. You're absolutely right. This is going to be 3 Marines versus 3 Reapers, and 3 Reapers, well-controlled, will win that.
Oh, Kevin.
He's building a tech lab.
Kevin. Oh, this could be so bad for Ryung, because you're absolutely right. Right now, when we have these 3 Reapers jump up this cliff, a typical Terran has 4 Marines. Ryung's only go... Oh, wait, Ryung... is going to have 4 Marines. Okay, so he's continued production through all of this. And he may be all right versus this.
Oh, we'll find out. The Reapers are going to have to sneak around the side, and I think the Marines are going to be able to have vision of them. Yes, they do. And they're actually just going to retreat back right now. They're not even going to mess with it.
The SCV not able to distract. Oh, it does distract, but the Reapers don't get a volley off while the SCV was distracting the Reapers, and one of the Reapers gets picked off.
Yeah, that was the difference between him being able to kill all 4 of those Marines right there and then advancing into the mineral line and being repelled.
Could we say advancing to game number 2? Like, if he had killed all those Marines, he would have free run over this base right now.
Oh, yeah, true.
But consequently, the Marines are still alive. Nice control in this part from the STC, but the STC did miss a critical opportunity there while the Marines were firing at that SCV.
And, of course, he did only build 3 Reapers, so it's not like this was the super heavy 5 Reaper build that we saw out of Select the other day. No, this is going to be 3 Reapers going back into Bio after this, but he's got a lot of catch-up. He's going into a starport right now, but, of course, the Cloak Banshee is already going to be flying its way across a map.
That is what lets the STC, however, not go into Stim. Stim is the follow-up that we see pretty much every Terran go for, not just Select. We've seen it in the past. If you go for 5 or more Reapers, Stim and multiple barracks is the answer, because your tech is too late to be able to try to go for, like, a Viking to defend against Cloak Banshees.
True.
That's what we're going to see right now out of the STC, actually. His starport is about to complete. Banshees are on the field for Ryung, and Cloak is about to finish.
Yeah, but Cloak was a little bit delayed here, so there's actually going to be about 20 seconds where this Banshee is going to be revealed, and it'll still do damage, don't get me wrong, but it is going to give the STC time to decide, all right, yeah, now I need to commit to this defense.
All right, natural expansion is complete for the STC, whereas Ryung is just starting his command center up.
And unfortunately, because of the DPS of the Banshee, he did actually have to pressure that Banshee a little bit, otherwise the supply depot would have died before the Viking popped out of the starport. As it stands now, it looks like Ryung is not content, though, with just killing a couple of supply depots. No, he wants workers.
Yeah, he's going to manage to not yet. Oh my goodness, he's gonna manage to kill 0 is what I was gonna say there, Kevin.
What?
Yeah, that's actually ridiculous, man.
You always see those scenarios whenever a Banshee's going in against a Terran player and they go after the ones that are on gas and they can only get one shot on each of those workers because they keep filtering back into the refinery over and over again. That's kind of what we saw just there, so not nearly as much damage done as there could have been.
Well, he's killed 3 SCVs so far with 2 cloaked Banshees. He's killed a couple of Marines as well. We've seen 5 Marines go down.
And it looks like this Banshee is finally going to die, but of course there's still the menace of one more lingering off to the left-hand side of the map for Axiom Ryung. And it looks like it is actually going to retreat home at the moment.
Yeah, there's been 2 scans used so far, and the STC has lost 5 Marines, 3 Reapers, 3 SCVs. Ryung, he's lost barely any units, but overall, when you add the scans to it, I'm giving Ryung like a pretty good advantage at this time.
Yeah.
The only thing I think STC has over him is, no, he doesn't even have a worker advantage, Kevin.
That's right, because don't remember, those Banshees actually only killed 2 SCVs because one was killed earlier with the Reapers that had moved up into his opponent's base. So no damage was really done with the Banshees, but the tech advantage has remained pretty good. And I like that Ryung's stretching for a 3rd command center a little bit early on. He is going to have to worry, though, about a big follow-up push from the STC here in a minute.
But a big follow-up push is going to be weaker because he's killed 3 Reapers, 5 Marines, and 3 SCVs.
Very true.
So, like, a push that may have just barely killed Ryung with the 3rd command center will now just barely be held by Ryung instead.
Yeah, actually, I have to agree with you there. I think Ryung's in a pretty decent spot. He'll be able to defend decently for the time being, investing in his medevacs, his upgrades right now, and his upgrades are actually going to hit before his opponents do. He's going to have stim ready for any sort of a follow-up.
All right, well, Ryung can't take damage here because that will make follow-up pushes more powerful from the STC. He's going to come forward right now with these Marines, trying to defend against this drop. But with 2 medevacs, Ryung wins this fight. The STC needs to pick up and get out of there. He loses 2 Marines before he does so, but nice hold from Ryung.
And Ryung didn't really take any damage from that.
No.
I mean, it was annoying, but it didn't really do anything. This Banshee, though, is very nice. I like that the STC is not biting on any scans quite yet. Oh, but it looks like he is going to lose a supply depot. That's 100 minerals, and that's very relevant. It supply blocks the STC.
Yeah, you know, about 100 minerals, I would say, were lost by Ryung with the mining time that he lost, but he killed 2 Marines, and now he picked off a supply depot. He needs to keep this Banshee alive, though. He's trying to get away, and he will manage to succeed. Oh, no, he wants to keep running it from here, because the energy on that Banshee is low.
Yeah, that's right. And it looks like STC is not going to pursue, so Ryung walks away with another little victory, and these little victories are starting to add up. Ryung had the tech advantage from before. He's up by 15 supply. Can we take a look at the worker counts, if you don't mind?
Yeah.
Looks like it's 42 to 41. So he's kept, it is an advantage now because his 3rd orbital command is finished, and he's dropping down triple mules.
I want to highlight again, like, this is the kind of decision-making that made Ryung such an incredible TVT sniper, though, back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
And still to this day. Because opting to go for the 3rd, when you see the advantage you have over your opponent, you're like, oh, well, if you all in me, I have a better chance at holding it now because you have a small disadvantage. And knowing what to do in all of these types of scenarios, I mean, Ryung, man, I don't think he could have made a smarter call. And now he's pushing out while the STC's going for a drop.
All right, well, this Banshee's being healed up, and STC is going to wish he had those units back at home. I think he has a couple of siege tanks his way. We'll find out what he can do with those because Ryung could go for a massive push very soon.
That drop could have done a lot of damage, and instead, it's not even going to pick off a supply depot.
Nope.
Check out the STC. Does he have a supply depot at the top of his ramp? No.
And also, there was an attempt at a double drop. There was an attempt at a drop over at the 12 o'clock position as well, but that was repelled by Ryung at the same time. And now, all of a sudden, we have a situation where these Marines are able to sit outside of the range of siege tanks, and they're doing some pretty good damage.
That siege tank is even in the range of the command center, Kevin. Looks like he's going to throw down a scan. See the position of that tank. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Ryung actually lift his Marines into the medevacs, shuttle them up to the top, and cause even more harass. But for now, I think it looks like he's just content to have it contained.
Is really reinforcing this position, and of course, with the knowledge that that tank is there, it's going to die very quickly. Oh, Ryung actually moving a lot of units forward. I don't think that he was worried about these. He does manage to save his tank, but he loses 10, 12 Marines in the process.
Tough call to say whether that one's worth it. You know, he did maintain the tank. If he keeps the tank alive, then yes, but no, he doesn't. And suddenly, no, not a worthy trade at all. Ryung really wanted to kill that tank so that the STC wouldn't win that fight with the repair.
But here's the cool thing. Remember how Ryung finished that third command center so long ago? He just sat it down. It's being saturated at the moment. And that means that STC still has work to do. Even if he breaks his contain, he's going to need to rapidly out-expand his opponent or push for a victory. And frankly, both of those opportunities are not great.
Here he goes, Kevin, but the siege isn't done. Ryung should fall back now with this bio as the tanks have siege. Loses 3 more Marines, but that's not anything substantial. He's got a Banshee. Oh, that tank is dead, and that's a big win for Ryung.
Not only that, but he also just killed a drop full of medevacs with a missile turret sitting in the top left-hand corner. So he simultaneously gets out of there, does significant damage, and kills a drop. Fantastic, fantastic play from Ryung there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, overall, the units lost, more Marines lost for the STC, triple the tanks lost for the STC. STC has lost medevacs where Ryung has not, and 13 workers to 2 in terms of workers killed. Ryung is outperforming STC in almost every way possible in game number 1.
That's absolutely right. And whoa! STC walks directly into the siege tanks.
That's too much.
And they were able to get 3 shots off, so the Marines do manage to pick off the siege tanks, but Ryung still takes a lot of Marines with him, and he stretches that supply advantage. Yeah, the tank count is more important right now than the overall Marine count. I totally get that, but still, equalizing the damage is always a good thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm curious to see what STC is going to be able to do here, though, because if you take a look at his main base, Kevin, his third is only halfway done right now. He has to make it up this ramp and slow Ryung down, but we've got a drop in the main base of Ryung while this is going on. Looks like, no, Ryung will be able to hold that off and not take any further damage.
See, here's the thing, though. At this moment, there is a big worker discrepancy between our 2 players, which means the armies are pretty close in size. So STC has to get damage done, and he has to get it done right now.
Okay, well, he's got a very nice position here, and Ryung may have to evacuate this base with the Marine count that the STC does have in place, but no, he's going to come forward. 1 tank very far forward. If Ryung can kill that off, he can fall back, and he will. Ryung has stabilized in this position, but only for a moment, as he does have equal upgrades to his opponent.
That's absolutely right, and those tanks just keep creeping forward and creeping forward for the STC. Overall tank count is 4-3 in the advantage of the STC at the moment, and now the economy is under fire from Ryung. For Ryung.
Ryung does get 1 tank in position to be able to help thwart these Marines from being able to poke up the ramp. Meanwhile, STC is going to send a drop down south. It will be rotating around. We'll see if he can manage to get damage done. But remember, that supply depot just provides such good vision every time for Ryung.
Really, really surprised, though, that Ryung isn't sending a little drop, a Banshee, just anything over the STC space to split his attention a little bit.
All right, so as STC continues to try to do this, we do have a Banshee coming forward to poke away on these tanks.
Yeah, and it did a pretty good job. That front tank, though, has done some damage for the STC. It's racked up quite a few kills, and honestly, has slowly started equalizing this game. Ryung still has a really nice position and has an advantage overall. I totally recognize that. But the STC has done a lot of things in his power right now to slowly start creeping back into this game.
Yeah, the STC is getting this command center ever lower and lower. It's at half health. Meanwhile, he diverted a lot of the bio of Ryung back into the top left-hand corner of his base because a drop was killing off supply depots. So, I mean, right now, Ryung is up 40 supply, but he can't really push into this, I feel.
No, he absolutely can't. That position is too good. He can flank it, but STC actually has control of the watchtower in the center of the map.
Scans going down absolutely everywhere. We can see that Ryung is trying to set up a flanking position, but one of these tanks can actually shoot the bio as they're trying to kill off the rocks. The STC, his positioning here is just phenomenal.
Right, and that's what's keeping this a somewhat close game right now. And STC has actually also established his own third. These players are expanding together, and looks like, will the Banshee be able to out-DPS the healing power of the SCVs? No, the tank is still alive.
Yeah, the attention to detail here out of the STC is blowing me away, Kevin. I mean, having SCVs out on the map in a position like this to be like, hey, my opponent has Banshees, I can't really deal with them that well, so why don't I just repair the tanks while I slowly kill off the Banshees?
And it looks like we have a massive flank coming down around the south for Ryung, while at the same time, STC is dropping again inside of Ryung's main. Major engagement here, though, Marines versus Marines. A few more medevacs sitting above for Ryung, and it looks like with his superior amount of units, he's going to be able to slowly start pushing this up. But then the STC just reinforced with an additional 15 to 20 Marines, and that pushed Ryung back.
Yeah, it did, Kevin. Now, still a supply advantage somehow in all of this for Ryung, and his drop in the main has actually killed, what, 3-4 supply depots? Now, this Marine has 8 kills in the top left. Finally will go down, and the STC He did wonders with that drop in terms of distracting Ryung.
Really cool stuff. I have to hand it to the STC. This game, it wasn't a foregone conclusion before that Ryung was going to win, but he was massively ahead. Massively ahead. He's still ahead right now, but only a little bit.
Okay, so the STC is fully mining off of 3 bases, and this is where we're going to see that supply gap close. The STC has managed to maintain it, even though Ryung had the better economy because of his positioning. But now, with an equal economy and better positioning than the STC, Ryung's on the clock.
All right, well, how is he going to try and break this contain? He tried to go around before and flank his opponent. 4th base down to the bottom left-hand corner is certainly going to be nice. But here's the thing. STC still has control of that watchtower. Ryung's moving through it again, but the STC reacts immediately.
Yeah, STC has fantastic vision, as you were saying, because of that watchtower. It's a critical element that's granting STC the ability to deny any flanks here.
And nice. Once again, that single Banshee is forcing these Vikings out of position. Looks like the Banshee will be able to sneak away yet again.
All right. So overall, we've got 3-3 completed now. And just, oh no, he only went for +3 attack. STC, or Ryung, excuse me. The STC is going for 3-3 and +2 vehicle weapons. So in just a moment, STC is actually going to have far superior upgrades. He's going to have 2 upgrade advantages over Ryung.
The Banshee did finally die, and the watchtower is taken once again for Ryung, who sees an opportunity to try and start breaking out of this. It looks like he's going to directly engage, and that is a critical position for him because now he's split the reinforcements, and now he has access to the STC side of the map.
He has split this army. Meanwhile, STC does not have enough to move into the 3rd, but Ryung does have enough to move north. He's able to actually take advantage of the supply advantage that he has, Kevin.
And he needs to get those tanks protected. Ryung does manage to save them, and a very nice job. Once again, stretching a bit of a supply advantage, and he's starting to kill tanks. So despite the fact that pressure is still on for him, he's going to counter-siege his opponent now.
What a fight for Ryung. He just turned a 20 supply advantage into a 50 supply advantage. That was not an option for the STC to take that fight. And I think that Ryung actually may have won this game.
Oh my god, everything gets decimated. All the medevacs disappear. The Sea Shanks are trying to filter back. There's GG. And Ryung wins again.